Hello everyone, I Jhalak Patel, Assistant Professor at LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication, welcoming you to my channel Wireless Communication. Today I am going to discuss about Unit 3 with topic Reflection and its model and Diffraction with model Knife Edge Diffraction model. So let's start with reflection. As we discussed in the earlier lecture that reflection is basically nothing but it occurs when the object is hit with the major dimension or with the wider dimension compared to the wavelength of its signal. So it occurs when if radio wave is incident on a perfect dielectric. Now for perfect dielectric there will be two types of conditions. First is when a part of energy is reflected back, and the second one is when part of energy is transmitted. Due to these two conditions there are two different types of component present at the reflection, which is ER and ET. ER means field strength component of reflected wave and ET means field strength component of transmitted wave. There might be a change in the direction and the interaction between wave and boundary. Now change in direction occurs because of the change in incident angle and change in reflected angle, and interaction between wave and boundary occurs because of the electromagnetics wave behavior. Due to electromagnetics wave there are two types of boundary changes. It might be due to tangential component or due to normal component. So these boundary conditions are applied accordingly. Like for tangential component it will be like ET1 equal to ET2, means both the field component, both the field strength component are equal for tangential condition, and in case of normal condition it is dn1 minus dn2 equal to rho s, means the difference will be taken and it should be equal to that surface charge density. Next is, it also depends on the Fresnel region. As we know about the geometry of field zones for antenna, there will be three types of zones. First one is radiating near field zone, second Fresnel zone, and third one is far field zone. We already discussed about far field or Fraunhofer region in the previous lecture. Like it depends on the parameter 2d square upon lambda. So in this case also Fresnel region should be less than 2d square upon lambda. Here d should be taken as a maximum dimension of antenna and lambda is wavelength. Also the polarization is also necessary that we have to consider. Polarization is nothing but the electromagnetic field strength time varying behavior, means when electric field strength changes with time the polarization occurs. There might be linear polarization, circular polarization or elliptical polarization. Among them, in this case vertical and horizontal, means in the part of linear polarization is taken place. Consider this figure. In this figure you can see that a vertically polarized wave and horizontally polarized wave will be seen. In case of both these polarization method, means in linear polarization, both the magnitude of wave means E1 is equal to E2, means magnitude of wave should be equal but the direction will be opposite to each other. In case of vertically polarized, the wave is aligned vertically with the axis. In case of horizontal polarized wave, the wave is exists on the horizontal axis. That means the component E1 and E2 equal for on horizontal axis, then horizontal polarization occur if the value of E1 and E2 are vertically on the same axis, then vertical polarization occur. In both the case you should take care that both the components should have the same magnitude with opposite direction. Next is reflection and its coefficient. Obviously there will be reflection coefficient which is denoted by R, and there might be two types of component present for reflection: perpendicular component and parallel component. First of all, we consider parallel component. Parallel component, it is denoted by R. Parallel component, it is given by ER upon EI. ER means field strength of reflected wave and EI means field strength of incident ray. It is given by eta 2 sin theta t minus eta 1 sin theta I upon eta 1 sin theta t plus eta 1 sin theta I. Here theta t and theta I denotes theta t means angle of transmitted ray, theta I angle of incident ray. Eta 2 means intrinsic impedance for medium 2, eta 1 intrinsic impedance for medium 1. Same way we can also take the perpendicular component, which is given by R of perpendicular component. Same way it is given by ER upon EI, reflected field strength upon incident field strength. It is equal to eta 2 sin theta I minus eta 1 sin theta t upon eta 1 sin theta I plus eta 1 sin theta t. Here again these terms will be same: theta I, theta t, eta 1 and eta 2. The difference is over here the changes: eta 2 sin theta I will be taken in place of sin theta t. So in both the case intrinsic impedance will be calculated. So now intrinsic impedance is nothing but it is denoted by eta and it is given by E upon H. E means electric field strength, H means magnetic field intensity. So it is the ratio of E and H. It also depends on permeability and permittivity. How? Because it is a ratio of E by H and it is also given by under root of mu upon epsilon. Mu is nothing but permeability of medium and eta is nothing but the permittivity of medium for electric field. So now next is reflection Brewster angle. Brewster angle is taken when no reflection occurs in the medium at origin, means at the incident wave side this angle will be taken. For this angle, incident angle should be such that the reflection coefficient is 0, means value of reflection coefficient is 0. Now if the value of reflection coefficient is 0, it again depend on the load impedance and characteristic impedance. So these values are also affected because of this Brewster angle. Next is it is given by sin theta b. It is denoted by theta b and it's again depend on the permittivity of medium 1 and permittivity of medium 2 when wave travels from one medium to another medium. First medium's permittivity is given by epsilon 1 and second medium's permittivity is taken as epsilon 2. So basically it is given by sin theta b equal to under root of epsilon 1 upon epsilon 1 plus epsilon 2. These equations should be used when both the wave is traveling in different medium, means there is no free space. Now what happens when there is one medium is free space? So when first medium is free space and the relative permittivity of second medium will be taken. Now what is relative permittivity? Relative permittivity is the ratio of permittivity in second medium divided by free space permittivity, means epsilon r equal to epsilon upon epsilon 0. It is given by sin theta b equal to under root epsilon r minus 1 upon epsilon r square minus 1. Square root of both will be taken. Now the next is two-ray ground reflection model. We already discussed about first model, free space propagation model. It also has its limitation. Free space propagation, if you get that, the free space propagation model is mainly used for transmitter and receiver when both the transmitter and receiver has clear line of sight, means there is no such obstruction present in between transmitter and receiver path. But this model can also be applied when there is obstruction present, means there is multipath is present, like this. Consider this figure. Here in this figure you can see that the transmitter and receiver is shown. Here there will be some obstacle present. Due to this obstruction in between the path, theta I and theta r will be there. Theta I is incident angle, theta r reflected angle. Here there will be two type of paths available. First path is when transmitter and receiver has clear line of sight, means if there is no such obstruction present in between transmitter and receiver, then it will be taken like this. From transmitter to receiver there is only E field of line of sight is taken. Now when the obstruction is present in between the path of it, like over here some obstruction is there, so the path will be now like this. Please see in figure, from transmitter to this point and from this point to receiver, means the whole path is divided into two parts. Like first part is over here EI and this second part EG. EG means ground strength, ground field strength. So over here the total field is addition of two different field components. In this two-ray ground reflection method, one should assume that the height of transmitter should be greater than 50 meters. Even in figure you can see that the height of transmitter is greater than the height of receiver. Height of transmitter denoted by HT, height of receiver denoted by HR. Over here small d is distance between transmitter and receiver. Now we calculate the total field for this two-ray ground reflection model. Total field denoted by E total is equal to E LOS plus EG. E LOS means field strength for line of sight distance, means clear transmitter to receiver path, and EG means multipath field strength when the wave travels through the obstruction. In both the cases, even in line of sight and for multipath propagation, the field strength is given by E cos omega t. General equation of any wave can be given by E0 cos omega t. Now we put different values in this common equation. So first of all, the general electric field strength when the total will be taken. Total means line of sight plus multipath propagation is taken, then E of dt is equal to E0 d0 upon d. This is the maximum magnitude of electric field strength vector. E0, this whole term denotes the maximum amplitude of electric field strength cos omega t. Omega is nothing but the angular frequency. Here in this equation, if you see this term T minus D upon C, in general form of equation only T is taken, but over here T minus D upon C will be added, because of, if you remember the electromagnetic course, there will be a retarded potential. Because of this retarded term, here the whole electric field strength is wave is delayed by some factor, and this delay is taken as d by c. D means distance upon velocity. This distance upon velocity is nothing but time. So we can easily say that this wave is delayed by this factor. Here the path difference. Path difference is denoted by delta, is given by d double dash minus d dash. It is also taken as phase shift constant time. For phase shift constant time, the value of the distance, or it may be given as 2 times ht hr upon d. Again, ht means height of transmitter, hr height of receiver, d distance between transmitter and receiver. Next is diffraction. Diffraction is nothing but when the traveling wave is obstructed by the sharp edges, then diffraction occurs. So as I discussed, diffraction allows the radio signal to propagate behind obstruction, and thus one of the factors why we receive signals at a location when there is no clear line of sight. So again, diffraction is also used when there is no clear line of sight, but here in addition of that, diffraction is also used when there is sharp edges objects are present, like mountains or valleys, or even in urban traffic area. But due to that type of obstruction in the path, there will be signal strength decrease. So because of signal strength decrease, the performance of any propagating ray is also decreases. It is also used to predict the field strength. One can also predict the field strength, means E value of E vector or H vector can be found out by the diffraction model. For this to find out the different field strength or path difference or maybe a phase difference of different wave due to diffraction, the knife edge diffraction model is introduced. So let's take the example of one knife edge diffraction model, how it is useful to calculate the term like path difference and phase shift constant. For this, consider this figure. In this figure you can see that over here there are multiple here we take the example of only one obstruction present. Over here you can see that this is one obstacle present in between the path of transmitter and receiver. This is the height of transmitter and this is the height of receiver. This is the height of obstacle. Over here you can see that the distance between transmitter to obstacle is taken as d1 and distance between receiver to obstacle is taken as d2. For this knife edge diffraction model, again the Fresnel region is taken into consideration. The Fresnel region is when the distance is less than 2d square upon lambda, means it should be less than the 2 times major dimension of antenna divided by its wavelength. So in this case or in this model, the path difference, again it is denoted by delta. It is given by h square by 2 into d1 plus d2 upon d1 and d2. You can see that d1 transmitter, distance between transmitter to obstacle, d2 distance between receiver to obstacle, h height of obstacle. From this delta you can also calculate the phase difference. Now this phase difference is nothing but phase constant times path difference. Now phase shift constant is nothing but given by 2 pi by lambda. So it is given like this: phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta. So delta is h square by 2 into d1 plus d2 upon d1 d2. So phase difference in case of knife edge diffraction model can be written like this: 2 pi by lambda into h square by 2 into d1 plus d2 upon d1 d2. Now we consider one another factor, Fresnel and Kirchhoff diffraction parameter. We also consider different Fresnel zone for this wireless communication in the next lecture, that how it can be defined and how the distance will be taken from the transmitter to different obstacle. But now we take only the equation of this Fresnel zone, which is given by V equal to H under root 2 H under root 2 into d1 plus d2 upon lambda d1 d2. Again the terms are H, height of obstacle, d1 d2, height distance from transmitter to obstacle, and distance from receiver to obstacle. Here we take one relation with knife edge diffraction attenuation as a function of Fresnel diffraction parameter. From the given figure, you can conclude that at particular level of knife edge attenuation, the Fresnel diffraction model is decreasing. It is increasing. For knife edge attenuation with 0 dB level, it is kept increasing from -3 to -2 and -2 to 1, and it also further increases when we reduce the attenuation. So attenuation should be at lower level to increase the Fresnel diffraction parameter V. This relation is graphical calculation of diffraction attenuation. If you have any questions or query, you can ask me at my email ID. Thank you for your attention.